Hi, I'm Lorraine. Welcome to the District Yoga. Let's go ahead and get started in a child's pose today. Find your way to your mat and then bring the feet to touch and allow the knees to open up to a distance that feels right for you, allowing the forehead to draw down onto the mat. And then the arms can reach forward if that's okay for the shoulders today. Otherwise, the arms can wrap down by the side body. We're just going to start to check in here, using this shape as a means to welcome ourselves into our practice and onto our mats. And practice where we can start to connect with our breath. Start to notice the inhales. Start to deepen the exhales. If you can today, just taking the breath in and out of the nose, finding some Ujjayi pranayama, maybe a little bit of sound as you start to constrict the throat. Last couple breaths, maybe starting to notice the connection with the earth. Bottoms of the hands, the forehead, even the shins. Maybe even noticing the sense of turning in, folding into ourselves. Take your last inhale. Stay there as you breathe out. If not already, reach the arms forward. We're going to come into a tabletop position. Find yourself wrist in line with the shoulders, knees in line with the hips. And we're going to touch into the hips today, so find what feels right. Press through the hands. We're going to keep the left knee where it is and then open that right knee up and out towards the right side of your space, flexing through the right toes. Breathing here. Stay here. Just feel this. Experience that in the hip joint. Stay with it. Take one more inhale. Lift it up. Exhale, lower back down. We're going to flow that a couple times through. So on an inhale, lift that knee up. Flexing the toes still. Lower it down. Inhale, we open. Exhale, we lower. We call this a fire hydrant. Inhale. Lower it back down. Two more. Inhale. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, last one. Exhale, lower it back down. Tabletop position. Find yourself here. When you're ready, we're just going to switch sides. So if you're with me, left knee's going to lift up. Keeping that bend, it's about a 90-degree angle through that left knee. And we're flexing again that left foot. Breathing still. Starting to feel that activation through the hip joint. Notice the belly turns on as you press the floor away. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, we lower that back down. Let's get a couple more like that. Inhale, we open. Exhale to lower. Starting to feel that heat build up in the hip joint. Inhale. Last one here. Inhale to open. Exhale to lower back down. You might want to wiggle the hips out. Feel that out. And then once you're ready, we're just going to tuck the toes underneath. Start to draw those hips up and knees up and off the mat. Downward facing dog. Pedal the feet. Maybe shake the head. Anything that kind of feels right for you today. Spreading through the fingers as you press those hands firm. Notice the length through the arms, the length through the crown of the head as it dangles free. Allowing gravity to just kind of do its work on the body here. And then the hips are lifted up towards the sky. The belly's engaged even. In fact, it's actually just a little soft, not super engaged, but press the feet down to the mat. Keep breathing, maybe find some stillness. On an inhale, press that chest back. On the exhale, stay there. Let's lift up the right leg on a breath in. So find your 3-leg down dog. And then on the exhale, we're going to step that right foot through to the outside edge of your mat. Breathe, your hands stay low. Take one more breath in. Step the left foot to the outside of the left hand here, coming into a nice Malasana Yogi squat at the top of your mat. Hands to the heart. If the hands to the heart is too much, the hands can stay low. Just find a nice tall spine so that you're not rounding in. Breathe as you press the feet down. Breathe as you lift the crown up. Just getting in again to those hips. You could add a little bit of movement if that felt right. Take your last couple breaths. If you're with me, hands low to the mat. If not already, we're going to stand up and lift up into a just standing pose, so an upward salute. Press through the feet, slow as you need. Start to lift up, reach up through the hands. And then hands to the heart. We're going to come back down, bend through the knees. Yogi squat, Malasana, breath out. Let's do that 2 more times. So on your next inhale, stand up again as slow and controlled as you'd like. Hands to the heart, slowly coming back to that Malasana Yogi squat. One more like that. Inhale, reach up, root down. Hands to the heart space, find that Malasana Yogi squat. Here's the change. Hands to the mat, start to straighten the legs. Turn the toes in towards the front of your mat. Let the head just hang super heavy here. Maybe the knees stay bent if that feels right for you. Find a little sway of the hips, so maybe a little bit of movement. Breathe still. On the inhale, half flat back. On the exhale, plant the hands. Step back to that upper push-up position. Find that engagement in the legs. Find that engagement in the core. If you need to drop the knees ever, absolutely, that's always an option. Take an inhale, chest forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Unravel the toes. Hands stay under the shoulders. Peel the chest up, peel the heart up. Cobra on an inhale. On the exhale, lower back down, either through tabletop or through plank. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Check in. Maybe pedal it out. Let's just feel that out again. Adding on a little bit. Press the chest back. Stay here as you breathe out. Inhale the left leg up this time. Step the left foot to the outside. Stay here, breath in. Step the right foot to the outside. Yogi squat, hands low or hands to the heart. On your inhale, stand up. Reach up tall. Just one time today. Hands to the heart, lower back down. Plant the hands down. Straighten the legs. Find your forward fold. Halfway up. Fold back in. We're going to step the left foot back and drop the back knee. Find a low lunge. You can unravel the legs. We're going to reach up on an inhale. And then exhale, stay here. Sink in a little bit deeper into those legs. Into that left hip flexor here. Breathing still. Just feeling this pose in your body. Inhale, reach up tall. Hands to the heart space. Step back to plank and find a vinyasa. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Right leg's gonna sweep up. Step to the outside of the right hand. Step to the outside of the left hand. Hands to the heart. Inhale, stand up, reach up tall. Hands to the heart space, lower back down, yogi squat. Hands to your mat, straighten the legs, toes turn. Half flat back. Bow it in. Step the right foot back to the back of your mat. Drop the back knee. And then reach up. Find your low lunge. Stay here. Maybe sink into that back right hip flexor. Stay with me. Breathing still.
Beautiful. Not your traditional warm-up A, but we'll definitely get warm. Inhale, reach. Hands to the mat. Step back to plank. Lower down slow. Inhale for cobra. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Let's just even it out. Left side lifts. Step that foot through to the outside of the right hand. Malasana. Hands to the heart. Stand up, reach it. Bring it back down, yogi squat. Let's get 2 more, just like when we started. Stand up, reach up. Hands to the heart space, lower. Inhale, yes, I can. Exhale, lower back down. Hands to the heart. Stand up, fold in, half flat back. Plant the hands, step it, jump it, float it. Find your vinyasa. Back to downward facing dog. Reset. On the inhale, right leg's gonna draw long. Bend the knee, open the hip. Stay here for 3. If you want to roll the ankle out, you can. If you want to roll the knee out, you can. Breathe here. Last one. On your next inhale, extend that leg, 3-leg dog. Step the foot through, ball of the back toes. Let's come into our crescent lunge. Root to rise, first time today. So find this shape, download it into your body. We're gonna touch into it a couple times today. Notice the hips are square here, so that right hip drawing back, left hip drawing forward, the arms reaching tall. Beautiful. On an inhale, reach it up a little taller. Exhale, warrior 2. Back foot dials flat. Hips now open towards the side of your space. That front right knee, nice 90-degree angle. Front toes reaching forward. And your breath is steady here. Arms reaching. Shoulders draw down and away from the ears. Warrior 2. Beautiful. From here, flip the front palm, reverse that warrior. Find a huge breath in. Right side ribs, find some space. Getting the body a little bit warmer. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Step back to plank. Lower through your vinyasa. Heart up. Downward facing dog. Reset. On your next inhale, left leg's gonna draw long. Bend the knee, open the hips. Stay here for 3. Maybe roll the ankle, maybe roll the knee. You decide. Breathe it here. Beautiful, you guys. On your next breath in, toes reach back up, 3-leg. Step that foot through, ball of the back toes. Let's just try it all on the other side. Crescent lunge, root to rise. Stay here again, check in, feel the strength in that lower body as the upper body feels light. Stay and breathe. Checking in always. Whew. Beautiful, you guys. Stay here. Last inhale, tall, reach it up. Warrior 2, open out. That front heel comes in line with that back middle arch. And then you just stay. You feel the strength of that lower body, and you feel the lightness of the upper body, the core working here. Breathe still. Virabhadrasana 2. What a wonderful, wonderful shape. Take your last couple breaths. If you're with me, flip the front palm, reverse your warrior. Notice I don't lose that bend in my front knee. I don't sacrifice that there. Even if I have to be up a little taller, breathe, breathe, breathe. Last couple moments. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Find a vinyasa. You lower slow. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. That's going to be our flow, our second warm-up series here. Let's just get to it. On the inhale, right leg's going to lift. Bend the knee, open the hip. If you want to flip it, you can. Stay there, one breath in. As you breathe out, flip back over, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Step that foot through. Inhale for crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Reverse up and back. Cartwheel your hands. Find your vinyasa as you lower slow. Inhale. Down dog. Breath out. Yes. Left leg's gonna lift. Bend the knee. Open the hip again. Flip it if you want it. Just for the inhale. And then you make your way back to downward facing dog on the exhale. Inhale, three-leg dog. Step the foot through. Grow tall. Inhale. Hands open. Exhale. Reverse up and back. Cartwheel it down. Find your vinyasa. You lower. Heart's gonna lift. Downward facing dog. Breathe it out. Keeping it moving. Right leg up. Bend the knee. Open the hip. Flip it if you want it for the inhale. Plant the hand back down. Three-leg dog. Step the foot through. Inhale, I rise. Exhale for two. Reverse up and back. Cartwheel it down. Find a vinyasa. Moving it slow. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Let's get the other side. Left leg up. Bend the knee. Open or flip it if you want it. Dancer's bridge. Plant the hand down. Three-leg dog. Step it through. Inhale, I grow. Exhale, I open. Reverse up and back. Cartwheel the hands to your mat. Vinyasa, I lower. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, down dog. We're going to add on to this round. We're going to hold a couple shapes. We'll catch back up with our breath. If you're with me, stay here for an inhale. Stay here for an exhale. Right leg grows tall. Bend the knee, you decide. Flip it if you want it. You're going to stay there for three, wherever you went. Dancer's bridge, wild thing. Last two. Lift the hips last time. Plant the hand down. If you came back, reach back up with that right leg. Step it through. Inhale for crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Stay here. Here's where we're going to add on. So from your warrior two, you're going to start to straighten that front right leg and bend that back left knee. We're coming to Skandasana. So you're looking at the back of a Skandasana here. That left foot is angled towards that outer edge, that corner of the back of your mat. That right foot, you can point or flex the toes, you decide. Left foot does not have to be flat. In fact, your hands can be down low to support you as well. Take a couple breaths. Feeling that in the inner groin of that right leg as you breathe. Beautiful. Last couple moments. Find your Skandasana, either hands to the mat or hands at the heart. Maybe even hands open wide. You decide, it's your balancing shape. Take an inhale. Wherever your hands are, bring the hands down low to the mat. Let's crawl back towards the front of our space, finding ourselves in that crescent lunge legs. We're going to add a little twist. Left hand down, right arm up, dragonfly twist. Feel this shape in the outer right thigh, the outer right glute there, but also a little twist for the internal organs. Right arm reaching up. Plant the right hand down, step the foot back, vinyasa, you lower. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, come back in. Beautiful, let's switch that out. Left leg draws long. Bend the knee, open the hip, either stay or flip it for three. Dancer's bridge for two. And one, inhale. Plant the hand down, come back to three-leg dog. Breathe in. Step the foot through. Find your way to crescent lunge, root to rise. Open out warrior two. Stay here. Check in. We're going to add that Skandasana to this side. So now you see the front of the pose. Start to straighten that front left leg. Bend that right knee. I'm pivoting the right toes towards the outer edge of the back of our mat, towards the corner of the back of our mat. Breathe here. Find the footings. Find the hands. If the hands need to come low, find that too. Check in with the breath. Check in with that inner left thigh this time. Beautiful breathing here. Spine tall. Last couple breaths. Stay with it. Keep breathing. Last 3. Beautiful for 2. Take an inhale. If not already, hands low to the mat. We're going to crawl forward towards those runner's lunge legs. So both toes face forward. Right hand's going to stay low. Left arm's going to peel up and open towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Check into your breath. Find this nice dragonfly twist. You could drop the back knee if that felt better. You're just here for a couple more breaths. Beautiful. On an inhale, open up. Exhale, plant that left hand down, step back, find a vinyasa, elbow squeeze. Inhale, heart shines. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Come back in. Last little thing for standing today. Let's just add a little balance to our flow. Right leg's gonna lift up. Step the foot through this time. Find crescent lunge. Inhale to rise. On the exhale, lean it forward about halfway. Shift into that third warrior as you take flight. We're not here super long. We're just going to use this for a transition. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Last 2. Chest lifted slightly. Last 1. Hands down low to the mat. Transitioning to that standing split as you find a stretch, not only through that bottom right leg, but also the length through that top leg, toes reaching. You could take the right hand and wrap it behind the ankle if that felt right. Keep it breathing. Last couple breaths. We're going to turn this pose and transition this pose into a half moon pose. So if you're with me, listen carefully. If the right hand's wrapped behind the right ankle, bring it back down. About a foot in front of that right foot. If you need a block, you could grab it if you had it nearby. Let's bring the left hand to the left hip. Square the hip first. Just feel this. And I know it's a lot of balance. Feel that squaring of the hip so the left hip is in alignment with the right. And then we're going to open that hip back up. We're going to stack it back up and over the right hip. So the left hip is now drawing open as you maybe bring the left hand to the sky. Flex through those left toes. Half moon pose. A different transition than we're used to. You know, a lot of us come to half moon from maybe a warrior 2 or reverse warrior. So notice how that transition felt. We're only going to get that once a day, so we'll just notice it so that we can maybe look at how the next side feels. Take a couple breaths, maybe fall. Who knows, if you need that micro bend in the bottom right leg, you could have it. Take an inhale. We're going to transition back to our warrior 2. Bend through that right knee. Come back to warrior 2. Whew, core turned on. Reverse up and back. Cartwheel your hands. Find a vinyasa. Lower down slow. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Come back in. Yes, last time, last side. Let's get this left leg lifted up. Step the foot through. On the inhale, come into that crescent lunge. Beautiful. We're going to add here. So lean the upper body forward. Shift into that third warrior. Again, not here super long, just about 3 breaths. Just starting to get into that bottom left leg. Last two. Both legs active. Last one, inhale. Hands slowly to the mat, as slow as you can. That transition just as important as this shape. Breathe here, head hangs heavy. Both legs super strong. Again, if you want to take the left hand behind the left ankle, you can. Just breathe wherever you are. Our breath keeping us present, not drifting off into the thoughts or to-do list, unless a teacher reminds you, right? Breathe in, breathe out. If you do have that left hand around that ankle, bring it back down. Here comes this big transition. Let's bring the left hand about a foot in front of the left toes. Right hand's gonna come to the right hip. Let's square the hip first. You might fall. That's okay. Just transition that hip down. You start to notice that, not in that back left leg, but also feeling those joints work in the hips. Breathe. From here, we're gonna roll that right hip up and open as we stack it. Find the balance on top of the left hip this time. If you want to take the right hand up, you can. Flex through those right toes. Breathe steady. Stay here. Yes, I can. I just show up to my mat and I just breathe. The shapes are pretty irrelevant, right? I just come in, and yes, we do get a physical element to this practice. But can you stay present with the breath? Breathe in. Breathe out. Last three. Beautiful for two. Bottom leg cooking. We're going to come to warrior two. Bend through that bottom knee. Slow landing. Lift it up. Core on. Flip the front palm. Reverse your warrior. You're almost there. Cartwheel the hands down. Find your vinyasa. Lower slow. Lift the heart. This is your last one. Back to downward facing dog. Whew. Let's get a nice sweet hip opener here to close us out. Right leg draws up. Pigeon pose. Bring that right knee towards the right wrist. Settle in as you drop that right shin. You allow that back leg to extend long. And then once you're ready, slowly crawl the hands forward, maybe coming onto the forearms, and just breathing where you are. Whew. If you need to make any adjustments with that right leg, you can. Otherwise, just letting the head hang super heavy. Just letting the breath still be steady. Letting any tension that we might be carrying in the hips today to just melt away. Allowing time to just let your body go to where it needs to today. Just gently melting in. Letting the body start to naturally cool down. The heart rate comes down with it. We'll be here for 5 more breaths. melting into your pigeon. Together we'll take one last inhale. Stay there as you breathe out. Gently walk the hands in. Plant through both hands. Tuck the back left toes. And then just step back to downward facing dog. Maybe pedal the feet. If you want to counter stretch, you could absolutely find a 3-leg dog, bending the knee and opening the hip. Otherwise, we're going to switch sides. So as you're ready, left leg draws long. Bring that knee towards the left wrist. Drop the back knee. Extend that right leg long. And then again, making any adjustments that you might need for your body. Different side, different sensations. Once you're okay there, gently walk the hands forward to your degree. Making your way to your pigeon pose. But knowing that it's a different side, you don't have to be as deep or as far down as you were on the other side. Know that. Be aware that, in fact, for most of us, each side is quite different sometimes. Especially on different days, our body changes daily, even hourly. So no expectation, no judgment of this side versus the other. Just melt in. See if you can let any additional tension or any extra tension you're still holding on to, just let that melt away. You might notice the body coming with this gentle fatigue from the work that you put in. Just allow that to sink in, maybe even to seep in. Take your last 5 breaths. Together, we'll just take one last inhale. Allow that air to release out. Slowly climb the hands towards the lower body. Tucking the back right toes, and then you decide, step back to down dog or find a 3-leg dog for a counter stretch. We're going to get one last hip opener to close this class. So press the chest back, set the knees down, and come on to your sits bones. We're going to come into a seated straddle, so if you know you don't like a seated straddle, maybe a bound angle pose, where the soles of the feet come together, The knees just open up. Otherwise, we're going to come to the side of your mat to open the legs out wide. And then we're just going to fold in. We're going to be here for about, 2 minutes roughly. So not too long, just long enough. Take an inhale, lengthen through the spine. You could reach up. And then just walk the hands to your degree. You could be on a block. You could be on your forearms. You could be on your hands. You decide where your body needs today or where your body needs to go. I'm going to make my way to mine. And know that yours never should look like mine, because mine is completely different from yours. My body is different from yours. And in fact, it's kind of cool to think about that, right? That no two bodies are alike. So find your straddle. And then just breathe where you are. Allowing again the time to let you melt in. Letting gravity work for you here. And just like that, we're already coming up on our, let's say last, let's go for 8 more breaths here. Maybe on the inhales, lengthening through the crown of the head. And maybe on the exhales, melting in just a little more. The last few breaths. Take one last inhale. Slowly exhale. Gently make your way, lifting the upper body. We're going to go ahead and bend that right knee. Bring that knee towards the back of your mat or the front of your mat. And then just come into your Shavasana, making your way into something that feels right for you. Legs can extend long. Arms can be down by the side body. If you want a little more touch for the hips, you could come to a bound angle or a Supta Baddha Konasana. And then just make your way into final rest. And just like that, if you have more time, please stay. Thank you for sharing your energy with me today. Namaste.